Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the Blue Honor Vlog. I'm Kay Williams, author of op-dec Operation Deceit, the Triloquia trilogy, and Blue Honor, for which the blog is named. Today I wanted to talk about my very first video, or actually I'm sorry, this was episode 3 of the vlog, all those years ago. It's been quite a while, and I talked about in that video who my books would appeal to. So during the writing process, I still agree with this point that I made on the post. During the writing process, I'm not thinking very much of that. I'm thinking more about the story that I want to write, and I assume I can't be the only person who wants to, talk about those things, read a story like that, because I'm coming from the standpoint that, I have my fandoms, etc., like anyone else does. And I would assume that my books would appeal to some faction of that, because we're pretty similar. I mean, if I like, for instance, I really like the X-Men Marvel stuff, I assume that there are other people out there who do as well. They're pretty popular. And, somebody might call me arrogant for this, but my ideas don't come from a vacuum. They don't come from some, left stage place. They're inspired by so many things that I've experienced and read and viewed and gone through personally, and I am not living in a vacuum either. So my ideas don't form in a vacuum. I don't live in a vacuum. There are others who go through similar things, or others who think similar things. So the books would appeal to them. Blue Honor being a Civil War drama, I assume that would appeal to people who like stories that are historical dramas, particularly the Victorian period. People who like sweeping romantic epics. The novel itself is not a romance novel. It is a piece of literature. It doesn't delve into so much of the focus isn't on the relationship, to the point where it's like that is the only thing that this spins on. Romance novels are very specific. They focus on the relationship itself. The book talks a lot about social issues of the time, and you learn a lot of historical factors, like the maneuvers and stuff that the boys are going through during the course of the book are actual maneuvers that the Army of the Potomac took. So there's a lot of factual historical stuff that was researched and incorporated. It's very dramatic. It is about, the American caste system and the different economic strata that people find themselves in, and moving up or down among those, and how impossible that can be sometimes, even when you're given a leg up. And so it would be people who are interested in topics such as that. op-dec would appeal to those who like film noir, big fans of the 1940s films, the 50s. Some noir got into the 60s and then became modern noir in the 70s, 80s, and forward. Anyone who likes a good thriller, a whodunit, and unmasking, so to speak. And while, the characters there is some kind of romantic involvement there. Aunt Noreen has a romance, and Claire is trying to figure out Karsten this whole time, and you see her becoming increasingly interested in him, to the point where because she needed him to save her life, and she needs that closure, and she needs to know where he is by the end of the story, and seeking him out, and it evolves into something greater, but that is not the focus of the story. Again, the focus of the story is her surviving this kidnapping and making it out alive from Nazi Germany. So it would be anyone who's interested in World War II, that time period, men or women. I have found that my historical pieces tend to appeal to men. At least that's usually who's buying them. And Trilokia series, which, again, social issues, mainly domestic violence. The dark fantasy aspect would draw in people who liked the series Supernatural, the film Inception, anything with like high stakes, high action sort of stuff, like the Marvel series. And I'm not really sure about the demographics as far as that goes. That one kind of eludes me a little bit more, because I think that one reaches more of an egalitarian. It's pretty equal across the scope. So I don't think it has changed who my books appeal to. I think it is pretty much still the same. Women do still find value in the war fiction that I write. They do like especially with Blue Honor, they enjoy the literature aspect of that and the drama, the Victorian novel theme to it. They like the tension in op-dec quite a bit, but they do tend to still attract male readers as opposed to female. And I'm not really sure on the breakdown of people who do not fall within the binary. So I know Trilokia should appeal to people who don't necessarily land on opposite ends of the binary, because Trilokia has characters who are trans and non-binary. So the very nature of their being in Trilokia, the Duda specifically, is this gender fluidity. So maybe that is why I don't necessarily get a bead on gender-wise who it's attracting. More or less, and I don't really think about things from a gender perspective. It just kind of, I don't know that I see the value in that, like, I'm gearing this book at women. Women and trans women. Trans women are women, so just women. Or I'm focusing on men over here with this other series. I don't necessarily do that because I don't see how that applies. Whoever's going to be interested in it is the usual type of people who like war fiction, or they like comic book fare. So it's going to be that group. So you have the nerdy group who's going to like Trilokia and that whole universe world building sort of thing, the Star Wars and Marvel and DC type of people. And over here with the historical fiction, the fans of classic film and classic literature are going to be over here. And that isn't gendered, so it's difficult for me to really consider it from that perspective. But I think that's who my books appeal to, are people who like literature. They like social issues being examined. They like to see things fit together like puzzles. So in the case of Trilokia, how that takes various belief systems and fits them back together like a tapestry, so that you have this beautiful, diverse human tapestry of thought and stuff in like how our memory or whatever works. So explaining that a little bit more, the premise is that we incarnate as humans into this world coming from the Trilokia world, Zion, and we remember pieces, and not everybody remembers the same pieces, so there's all these disparate pieces, and we're just, little windows of memory creep through the this facade that we're wearing, because this is like virtual reality, so to speak. Not quite literally virtual reality, but sort of in a way it is like that. The theory of this being a simulation and a training ground and things like that. So yeah, those are my best guesses. I know that those stories, the stories that I write, appeal to me, and that is why I bother to put them down on paper. And it is my hope that they will appeal to others, and they'll pick them up and read them and enjoy them. They will get something out of them. I know for years I have consumed books and film, and they have left lasting an impression on me, and I can only hope to provide that to others, whether that's healing, camaraderie, and whatnot, things along those lines. So hopefully they appeal, because I know I'm not alone out here. I have a lot of friends, etc., who are all on the same page and dig the same things. My horror film pals and stuff very much are interested in the Trilokia trilogy, from the aspect of it just being such a vast world-building thing, and including these horrific demons and monsters and stuff, and things from other worlds that are like paranormal, but also trying to give it a more realistic explanation on that back end. So thank you for listening, and I will see you back here next month with another episode. Don't forget to subscribe so that you know when that's happening. See you next time.